Welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever stopped and wondered what you're really made of? And I'm not talking about, flesh and bone. I mean, what are the actual atoms that make you, well, you? Today, we're going to decode life's elemental blueprint.
Okay, so think about it. The periodic table gives us 118 known elements to work with. That's a huge chemical toolbox, right? If you were building a life form from the ground up, which ingredients would you even pick? Well, it turns out life's answer is fascinatingly simple.
And when I say simple, I mean really selective. Life is just a master of efficiency. Out of all those elements available on Earth, it builds, well, everything, from a tiny little bacterium to a massive blue whale, using fewer than 30 essential ingredients. That's it.
But here's where it gets even crazier. Even within that small group, there's an elite club that does basically all the heavy lifting. We're talking about just 4 elements. 4 that make up the overwhelming majority of all living matter.
Yeah, just let this number sink in for a second. More than 99%. That's the combined mass of just those 4 elements in your body right now. It is, for all intents and purposes, a total chemical monopoly.
So who are these superstars? Well, here they are. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. You can think of them as HOCN. These are, without a doubt, the main characters in the story of life. Everybody else? They're fighting for scraps in that less than 1%.
So, why these 4? What's so special about them? Well, it all comes down to some brilliant chemical engineering. See, they're the lightest elements that can form those really stable shared electron bonds, covalent bonds, that life absolutely depends on. And here's the cool part. The chemistry is super elegant. Lighter atoms can pull closer together, and that makes for stronger, more stable bonds. It's just perfect for building biological machines that are meant to last.
Okay, but even within that core 4, one element truly stands out. It's kind of the lead singer of the band. It has this uniquely crucial role. It's the primary structural framework for, well, all of life as we know it. And that element is, of course, carbon. Its secret sauce is its unmatched versatility. Carbon can link up to form these long, stable chains. It can create all sorts of intricate branches. And it can even loop back on itself to form rings. This incredible flexibility is exactly why it's the perfect molecular scaffolding for building life. I mean, its role is so central that if you were to take a cell and just suck all the water out of it, that's what biologists call its dry weight. Carbon alone would account for more than half of everything that's left. It really, truly is the backbone of biology.
But, the core 4 can't do it all by themselves. To make life actually work, you need a whole supporting cast of other elements. And these guys are absolutely essential, playing all these vital roles in both structure and function.
And you can kind of think of this supporting cast in 2 main groups. First, you've got your bulk elements. These are like the bricks and mortar of the cell, right? You need them in larger amounts for the big structural jobs. And then you have the trace elements. Now these are more like the special keys. You only need a tiny, tiny amount, but they are absolutely critical for unlocking very specific functions.
And what's so amazing about these trace elements is that their power is all about function, not quantity. It's not about how much of it you have, it's about what it does. A single tiny atom of a trace element can have a bigger impact than a whole mountain of bulk elements when it comes to its specific vital job.
Let me give you a perfect example. Just look at this number, 0.3%. Seems pretty tiny, doesn't it? Almost like a rounding error. Insignificant, right?
Well, that tiny little percentage, that's the amount of mass that just 4 iron atoms add to your hemoglobin molecule. The protein that's busy carrying oxygen through your blood right now. And here's the amazing part, the kicker. Without that measly 0.3% of iron, the entire protein is completely useless. Its function just drops to 0. That's a perfect example of the mighty minority.
Okay, so we've got our ingredients list, right? We've got the core 4 and their mighty supporting cast. So now, let's take a look at what they actually build. Let's check out the molecular architecture of a cell.
So first things first, before anything else, a cell is basically just a tiny bag of water. Seriously, that simple H2O molecule makes up around 70% of your body's weight. It's the universal solvent, it's the stage where all of life's little chemical dramas play out.
All right, so what's in the other 30%? Well, once you get past the water, the dominant players are proteins. These are the little molecular machines that do almost all the work inside a cell. After them, you've got the nucleic acids, your DNA and RNA, which of course hold the genetic blueprint.
So let's just put this all together. From this huge, vast palette of chemical possibilities, life cherry-picked just a handful of key atoms. Carbon gives it that versatile framework. The supporting cast comes in to enable all the complex functions. And together they build this amazing architecture that's mostly water, but it's powered by proteins. It's just an incredibly elegant and mind-blowingly efficient system.
And this elegant simplicity, it's the foundation of every single living thing we have ever encountered. It's the universal blueprint for all biology here on Earth, which, leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. If this is the toolkit, what else could be built with it out there in the cosmos?